Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward, and this is Face to Face. Our guest this week is roots and Americana artist Jade Turner. Jade is a member of Mississippiwastic Cree Nation in Manitoba. 2024 has been a huge year for her. She recently took home the Manitoba Country Music Award for Song of the Year, an award she also won in 2023. Jade was also a co-recipient of the SOCAN's Vince Fontaine Indigenous Songwriting Award. Jade, thanks so much for being with us on the show this week.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
And congrats on the big year that we kind of just laid out some of that there, only some of it. How would you describe 2024?
Pretty wild. A lot of big things happened for me this year. It was a really great year for sure. Very, very thankful for the craziness. It literally started probably in the end of January, the craziness started, and it's still going.
Is it the type of year, I guess, that you've been working towards for so many years?
Definitely, for sure, yeah. Even more so because I didn't expect a lot of the things that happened this year to happen.
Well, definitely want to touch on some of them. The fact that you released 3 singles in 2024, including That Wind, which took home the Faye Walker Song of the Year award at the Manitoba Country Music Awards. You won that category in back-to-back years. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Some on that for sure. That's
awesome. Yeah, no, I won last year with Dead Weight, a song I wrote with Crystal Shawanda, and that was amazing. And then this year, you know, especially with a song like this where it just kind of came out of nowhere. Like I literally wrote it when I was dog sledding. So it's kind of funny that happened that way. And like the turnaround for that whole entire experience was literally like weeks, like to a month to create the whole song, go to Vancouver. Like there was like this whole thing, and it was a whirlwind for sure.
What's it like to have your songwriting recognized in such a way and in back-to-back years?
I think that's probably one of the best feelings for me because I've been writing since I was a child. I used to move quite a bit with my mom, and I lived on many reserves in northern Manitoba. I think I moved 15 times, maybe more by the time I was in grade 9.
Wow.
So for me, songwriting, music was always there for me, and it was kind of the only thing I could lean on some of the times too. I was, always the new girl, so always getting bullied and stuff too, right? So I remember specifically one of the communities I was in, I went and sat literally in the bush. I ran there instead of going on the bus to school because I didn't want to go to school there anymore, and I did that for a whole week before the school phoned my mom and told on me.
Oh no.
But I literally wrote songs all day. I sat outside in the bush and I wrote songs, and it was like honestly probably something I'll remember for forever because I had such a great time doing that. I was in my zone.
Right. I feel bad asking you this question, but like, is there a song from your youth that you remember that really helped you through some tough times?
A song that I wrote, or a song in general?
In general, yeah.
In general. Oh, I don't know if there's anything specific. I listen to a lot of, so funny, so embarrassing. I used to sing really, really loudly. So sorry to my parents. But I used to sing like Celine Dion and Faith Hill and Martina McBride, and like way too loudly in my room. So probably one of those. I know Faith Hill is really funny because as a little kid, like I think I was like 8 or younger, and those songs from those albums are really sad and depressing, and I was just really in my feels about them. I didn't even know what they were about.
If my mom were here right now, she'd tell you, because she tells anybody, that I used to be on my bed with my red glove on doing Michael Jackson songs all the time. But it never translated into any sort of career, unfortunately.
That we know of.
Yeah. Is, songwriting, like you say, you've been doing it for so long. Sometimes it comes to you while you're out dog sledding. Is the songwriting something that comes easy for you?
Sometimes. I find that when it doesn't come easy, then that song's just not ready, and I don't sit on it very, very long. Like, the longest I took to write a song is probably 3 hours. Like, sometimes I'll go back and edit things, but I find that the ones that actually need to be out there in the world are the ones that just seem to come out. For me, it's more of like a spiritual experience in a sense, where like I feel like I'm just kind of like the outlet for things that need to come out in the world. I don't know why that is, but that's how I feel about it.
You were also the recipient recently of the SOCAN 2024 Vince Fontaine Indigenous Song Award. Can you tell us about that award and what it means for yourself?
That was a huge shock. Vince was such a big voice in the Indigenous community for a lot of artists. You know, for many, many years. He started Indian City around the same time that I was still just up and coming, and you know, he had William Prince on there, and Don Amaro was on there, and it was a big group project. And he was a big voice for a lot of people. So to get that award meant a lot. It was really strange for me to be in that setting at the SOCAN Awards. That was my first time, and I never expected to be there, and I was so excited to be there. But it was really awesome. It was a good time. Me and Sebastian shared the award that year, and I got to watch him perform on stage, and got to spend that night with some friends, so that was really nice. And it's good to see Indigenous representation at that kind of place, so yeah.
Well, as we continue to roll down the list of accolades for you in the past year, again, congrats. You were also a semi-finalist in the Sirius XM's Top of the Country competition. Comes with a decent prize as a semi-finalist, but also, I imagine, some good publicity. What are you hoping that all of this recognition this past year does?
I don't know. You know what? I have a really hard time. I'm very thankful for everything that has happened this past year, but I also have a very hard time being being the person that's getting the awards. I have a really bad imposter syndrome when it comes to that, but I'm very thankful. And like when I got the call for that, like I said, I was in Churchill, and my mind was literally blown. I was opening up for Tom Cochrane that same night that I got to save the call, and I was like, what is this life? Like, seriously, I don't know what happened in January where it was like there was like a switch where everything just like was working out for me, and I was like, what the heck? And that's where I wrote That Wind. It was for that exact project, and it was within a few weeks I was heading to Vancouver, and I got to record in Bryan Adams' studio for the whole day, and it was an amazing experience. I had 3 hours sleep while I was recording this because I was so nervous and because it was really loud in Vancouver and I couldn't sleep. But I was like, no, I gotta. Manitoba, eh? I was running on adrenaline for sure for that for that whole day. Like the recording of the video, we had to do the recording of the song together. That was the first time I got to play with everybody at the same time too, like on the floor. While I was recording, because normally I just go into the studio and do my vocals and then we put the pieces together. But this was like the first time I got to do it all together with everybody there, and it was so much fun. And the crew was amazing. They were so great. It was a really, really good day. I was very tired, but it was like the best day ever.
Nice. Wanted to talk about your most recent single, Marion, about the battle of loving someone gripped by addiction, something that I think a lot of us can relate to. Can you tell us about that song?
Yeah, I was driving home with my son, and I had seen a family member of mine on Marion Street. And I couldn't pull over because, like I said, I had my son, and I don't want to expose him to anything dangerous, and I didn't know what the situation was with them at that time, so I didn't stop. But I cried all the way home, and then the next week I had a songwriting session planned out with my friend Stephen Arundel, who also co-produced this album that's coming out. And I told him, I was like, I really think I should write about this. I think it's important. There's not very many songs out there for families that are dealing with this. And so I wanted to write it as a breakup song, and we wrote it that way because there's different heartbreaks, and this is a really, really sad heartbreak to go through, but at the same time, heartbreak is heartbreak, and I want people to realize that, you know, that they're not alone if they're going through this as well. And there's actually quite a bit of people that are going through this, which is really unfortunate in this time, and there's not very many resources, and there's not very many people talking about it, so I feel like it's time to talk about it.
Glad you are. It's a beautiful song, one we're going to be lucky enough to hear a performance of here later in the show. Jade, we just have to step aside for a quick break, but more to talk about here with singer-songwriter Jade Turner. Stick around.
To you this way, since I lost you to Marion, I think you all the time. I've been waiting for my time to come. I've been listening for that wind to hum. It's calling me.
Welcome back to Face to Face. Our guest this week is singer-songwriter Jade Turner, and we've been discussing what I will say is a widely successful year that she's just had. Jade, you're also a Red Seal millwright. Is it difficult to balance the day job with the music career?
I think it's more difficult now that I'm a mom. I have 3 jobs basically. Yep. But no, I've been lucky enough in my career. For a long time I worked an 8 and 6, so I was like 1 week on, 1 week off, which is really great. Now I have my job here in Winnipeg, so it works out really well to do, you know, all my gigs and recording and everything in this area. So it hasn't really been too bad. This last little while has been really, really busy. Thankfully, I have vacation.
Yeah.
But no, it's been great. It's actually been a really well-balanced thing until, my son started school in September, and now it's like, oh my goodness, another thing.
Yeah, kids have a way of doing that, eh?
Yeah.
Did you find it difficult to catch a break in the business?
I feel like I've been at this for such a long time, and there's like little breaks here and there. And like this year has been a big year for me, but there also has been other big years, and like for that time period, right? And I've been really lucky to have a lot of really good support from Manitoba in my career, and now it's expanding, and I'm so glad and happy about that. So yeah.
Was there a point in time where you felt like things were, I mean, aside from 2024, but things were kind of clicking for you?
I think the first bigger thing that happened for me was the NCI Jam, and back then I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, and I'm so thankful even just now. It was like a big day too, because back then it was at the Centennial Concert Hall, and they had like limos for us, and like they made a big event of it, and it was so fun. I think overnight I got like 3,000 friend requests after that, and I was like, oh my god, I made it in the world. Yeah. First I deleted all the posts from before, and then I accepted everybody, and I was like, yay, welcome friends.
Facebook famous overnight. Congrats.
Back in the day it was the big thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I got to go to the APCMAs back then, so that was really fun too. That was actually my first performance as an artist, and they threw me on stage at the APCMAs, which was like live recorded, and at the MTS Center back then, and it was like a packed house. I was so nervous. I don't really remember too much of the performance because I was literally like, hopefully I don't mess this up.
Was that 2014 or 15-ish?
Something like that, yeah.
You're in luck, we've got video, we'll add it to the show.
That's so funny.
We had Desiree Dorian on the show earlier this season and asked her how she would describe the country music scene in Canada for Indigenous women, and I believe her response was atrocious. Just, I guess, you know, what's your experience been?
You know, women in general, I think are played maybe 1%, if that, and then Indigenous, there's not very many of us. There's me and Des. There's a couple more coming up now, but you know, before Crystal Schwan, there was Crystal Schwan for a long time, she was amazing, and she was like a huge part of my reason why I continued on with this career. And then there's very, very little of us. That's definitely, I think there's Katie St. Germain now, which is really great, Brandy Vezina. There's a lot of us coming up now, and I'm so happy to see it. But at the same time, I know there's more across the country that just aren't getting recognized yet. And their time will come, though, because you can't deny that talent very long. And I really hope that the industry opens up a little bit more to the Indigenous scene in general.
Yeah, I think when we had Desiree on, it was the week of the Manitoba Country Music Award nominations, and yeah, Female Artist of the Year was like you, Brandy, Katie, Desiree, and I think Kendra Kay. Quite the list there. You know, even with all these accolades, though, Jade, is it difficult to make it a go in the music business? Of
course it is. You know, it's a lot of work, a lot of work, and I've been doing this, like I said, for a very, very long time. I think about 15 years now I've been at this, so I've learned a lot along the ways, thankfully from like Alan Grey Eyes and the program that he used to run at Manitoba Music, which was the AMP Camp back then. And like we had a lot of great programming here from Manitoba Music, and so I think that has helped me quite a bit to learn, but I'm also still learning. There's still so many things to learn because the music industry just changes so much, and like there's TikTok, and it's like you get one viral thing on TikTok and then next thing you're on everything, and it's like, oh, okay, what about the people that have been working at this for a long time? you know, that's kind of hard to see sometimes. It's a little bit disheartening, to be honest, but you know, we all do this because we love it at the end of the day. There's no way that anybody in this industry is doing this for anything else at that point, because this is a lot of work. You have to love it to not be here anymore. So,
I mean, I guess all it takes is 10 seconds of a song on TikTok to just
I guess so. Sell your soul to TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, are there things that really stick out for you that you love or hate that you've seen change in this industry in the last decade plus?
Well, like I said, I love that there's a lot of access now. When I was growing up, like I said, I grew up in really remote places. There was nothing out there for me. Like there was not even anybody to look up to, really. At least that I didn't see, because, like I said, the access wasn't there. So now with the internet and everything, we have that access, and the generation that's coming has that, and they have the videos to, like, how-to videos to figure out whatever it is that they want to do. There's resources there now, so that's getting a lot better. There's a lot, like I said, that needs to change and everything, but there's also a lot of good in this world, and I think that we just have to find those places to learn and figure out how to get to where you need to go. And I feel like a lot of us in the industry are always willing to help too, which I find is like so refreshing. I don't think that was a thing back then. I think everybody was like kicking each other down to try to get to the next, but now it's like, no, everybody has a chance and everybody deserves to be here. And I think that's one of the really good things about the industry nowadays, is it's more inclusive and it's more, a better place to be, for sure.
That is a nice change to hear about, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, hoping that you continue on all the success in 2025. And coming this week, you have a new album coming out titled Breathe. What can you tell us about the new album?
Well, it's been a long time coming, for sure. I've been working at this album for like years now. It took a long time, but I think that the timing is right. And I am looking forward to everybody hearing the entire project as one, because it's a really, really big part of my heart and soul went into this. And yeah, I'm so excited for everybody to hear it.
And you can all hear it this Friday as Breathe will be released. Just briefly here, Jade, I guess, any advice to those looking for a break in the music business?
Just keep going. You just never know. You just never know, like, when it will happen and or how it will happen. But you just got to keep working hard.
Good stuff. Well, Jade, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. We're going to have more. We just have to step aside for a quick break. And then we've got a performance coming up here on Face to Face from singer-songwriter Jade Turner. Stick around. Welcome back to Face to Face. Our guest this week has been singer-songwriter Jade Turner. And as promised, we're going to wrap up the show this week with a performance by Jade and Derek Peters. Be sure to check out Jade's new album, Breathe, out this Friday. Here they are now with the song Marion. Enjoy. We will see you back here next week.
Ran into you the other day. I didn't quite know just what to say. It's been a long time, I see you have changed. I hate running into you this way. Since I lost you to Marion, I think of you all the time, and I often stop and wonder if you'll ever again be mine. So I'll see you around this town. Oh, Marion, you win this round. Does she make you feel young, wild and free? Or do you ever just think about me? 'Cause you're still haunting all my dreams. I wasn't enough, so it seems. Since I lost you to Marion, I think of you all the time, and I often stop and wonder if you'll ever again be mine. So I see you around this town. Oh, Marion, you win this round. Since I